My name is Welch, and welcome to episode 13 of the Done and Out Blading podcast. For this episode, I'll be talking to Brandon Drummond, the host of Blader News on YouTube. I talked to Brandon about his YouTube channel, his show, his history within the sport of inline skating, and living in New Zealand. I hope you enjoy this episode. If you do, make sure and hit the like button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon to be notified of all new uploads. Leave any comments you might have in the comments area below. And follow me on social media. I have links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter in the description below. And I also have a link to my Patreon page. And if you like this channel and you want to support it, for as little as $3, you get exclusive access to content not available on this channel. Photos, videos, audio, all sorts of cool stuff from my archives. Check out the Patreon link in the description below for more information. Let's get started with episode 13 of the Done and Out Blading podcast with Brandon Drummond.
Oh, that your email went straight to my junk. I was like, oh, I didn't see an email, but I found it. We're good.
I thought it might do that. I could have just sent you a link through Facebook too. Well, hey, it's nice to meet you, Brandon.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. It's cool.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me on. I'm absolutely honored, man. Like so honored. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And I want to congratulate you. You got the Voice of the Year award.
Yeah, I still can't believe that. It's still like
from One Magazine.
Yeah, it's like, wow, I just can't, it's so nice. Like, I feel very lucky, very privileged to.
How do you feel about the competitors you had in that category?
I think I kind of got quite lucky there. I know I was very, very impressed with Tom. I've been loving Tom's stuff. He gave me a real big run for my money, from being such a new dude to like the scene, making videos and stuff. He, without even trying, almost beat me, And then I think I got pretty lucky in the fact that people probably didn't really understand the what the title really meant,
Mm-hmm.
So the people I was up against, like it makes sense with Tom, but for I can't even remember who the other person was.
There was Miguel.
Miguel, yes. I was like, it feels like a different category, So I don't know.
Do you consider yourself the voice of rollerblading personally?
Definitely not. No. Definitely not. That title seems very, very. That's a hard expectation to live up to,
Oh, for sure. Who would you consider to be the voice of rollerblading from all the people out there, or the voices of rollerblading?
That's a really hard one. I heard it's funny because all I'm thinking about is Tom did a whole video talking about the problem with like award shows, and he talked about like who should actually be the voice of Blade, right? And he mentioned like maybe like someone like John Julio, someone who's kind of like leading the way for rollerblading and stuff like that. And I kind of agree, it'd probably be someone like that. But then you're coming down to like, what does it even mean to be the voice of blading, right? Like, does it mean like you're the one telling everyone what's going on? Is it the one leading the way? It's like so up for so much different subjectiveness, like, so I don't know. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even with all the different disciplines now, even within aggressive.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't really have too many voices for everything out there.
Yeah. And for it to be like a news show, like for being the voice of blading, just for having like a news show, I'm honored. It's like a weird fit, but it's cool.
Well, you have quite a bit of subscribers now. What are you at?
We're at 19,400 last I checked. On track for 20 very soon. 20K.
Yeah, that'd be cool. How long did it take you to get there? How long have you been doing the channel for?
I've been doing it for probably like 4 or 5 years, kind of, I think, from the top of my head. So yeah, it's been pretty steady, kind of consistent growth over that time, I've noticed. So yeah, I didn't really think I'd ever get to 10K. So I'm kind of pretty hyped that we're almost at 20. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, you've been doing some different promotion too for the channel. I mean, doing the subreddit has to help a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's been fun.
And then you do your streams as well.
Yeah. So I started doing, for some reason I just had this call and I felt like doing like some kind of live show on my channel. It started on YouTube and I was doing like the biggest problem I was having with making Blader News was trying to find stuff to put in the show by myself was like this mega overwhelming task. Like there's always stuff everywhere, always going on. It's so easy to miss stuff. And like it's like a full-time job, you know, to go through all that. And I found like a lot of the time there'd be something I'd missed that would just like this, it was be impossible for me to know. Like as a good example, I was thinking like recently there's your last podcast with Matthias where you're talking about this the new there's like the shadows coming out, right? For the 25th anniversary. There's like I would have to watch every podcast under the sun, you know, to catch things like that, you know. And the good thing of me starting like the whole point of doing the streams, getting like kind of getting a hive mind happening of people like helping me out, you know, and that was through the subreddit. So I have a way for people to submit news and edits and stuff. And that way kind of everyone's helping me out. And it made my life so much easier, dude. Now I just can go on the subreddit, you know, and if I miss something, it'll generally make it there. And it also makes it easier for other people to share their own stuff themselves. Like people starting their own brands, people making their own edits and stuff, which I really liked. I really wanted to make it, I wanted to share other people's stuff, like what they're doing in blading and make that kind of easy. I don't want it to be like something that seems impossible for the average blader to do, you know? So yeah, I wanted to make it open, and it seemed to work really well in a format where I have the subreddit, and then once a week I go through the subreddit live with everyone, so that it shows people like that I'm actually looking at it and they get to see me react to it, so that it like encourages people to actually do it. And the streams are just so much fun, dude. They're like the highlight of my week. They're so fun, dude. Just to like talk to people about blading live. It's so fun.
So you did it on Twitch, and why did you choose Twitch instead of the YouTube live?
So I did it on YouTube for a little while. I did it for probably like 3 or 4 months. And there's a few problems with that. The first I found is that a lot of people, I was losing subscribers from doing live streams, because I think a lot of people, you know, they sub for Blader News, they sub for like the other stuff I've done. They didn't sub to see a annoying live stream popping up on their feed like every day, you know. And it also was bad for watching people's like edits and stuff, because I couldn't use the music because of content ID. The streams would get like muted, you know, they get like, you know, claimed like that, which is fine when you're live, but afterwards it just gave me like, I had this weird superstition that getting all these claims on my channel every time I do a stream was not a good idea. So I decided I should probably have a separate platform for streaming, just so that way the people that want to see the streams, it's not like they can go to that platform and they'll see it. And then the people who just want to see my videos and stuff, they don't have to like have it in their face all the time that I'm live. And it also means if I want to go live more than once a week, I don't have to feel bad about it. You know, like I can go live right now if I want, and I don't have to be like, oh, all my subs that don't want to see me go live aren't going to be annoyed by this notification. All the people that are following me on Twitch, they want to see me live, so I don't have to feel so bad. So that was my justification, but still early days. Hopefully it was the right choice. We'll find out. But yeah.
How many people follow you on the Twitch stream usually?
So there's usually around like 20 to 30 people are in there, and it's slowly growing up. It's definitely, I took a hit moving from YouTube. YouTube, I had like a consistent at least 40 people every time, no matter what. But so we're still convincing people to come over, but it's still good. It's fun. There's enough people to have fun, you know?
So for people who aren't familiar with Twitch and how it works, what makes that platform good for you?
Twitch is like it's like the original live streaming platform. And it's got so many features to it that just make it so much better for live streaming. Like there's things like even just the chat itself there's less latency. So it's easier to like interact with chat, easier to read it, easier to do stuff like that. There's a bunch of other like little features that make it like a really nice community to grow in as well. Like there's features where you can raid other streamers. So like at the end of your stream, you can send your chat to like someone else. And it's really good for like, you know, spread it, helping other people out. And it means like there's a few other streamers there's another rollerblading streamer. I'm like the one of 2 people who make rollerblading content. That means I can like help them out. And if that was on YouTube, that'd be cool, but it's not. But there's that, as well as there's just lots of little fun little things like that. Like it's real hard to explain. There's so many little pieces that just make it a better platform for streaming, if that makes sense. Like you have to give it a chance if you haven't, you know.
And you can monetize off the Twitch streams?
Yeah, it's really good for that too. Like I see it's the culture on Twitch is very like you support your creator. I notice it's like because it's based on kind of like a subscription kind of thing where people they like they subscribe. It's like you pay to subscribe. So it's like YouTube's joining like memberships. And it's just like much more normal for people to do that on Twitch versus YouTube. And yeah, I found even with like the much smaller following I have, like followers on Twitch, it easily matches. It's very close to matching my monthly income on YouTube with like a channel that's like 10 times the size. Just like this, it's like, yeah, it's really good community there. I like it.
I read online that like the longer you stream for, the better it is for making money, or is that how it works?
It's kind of like it's all like I don't know if I have enough of like a grasp on it yet, like enough data to really know. But for me, it's very up and down right now. Like I don't think going longer really does help at all. I think it's kind of like if I go live, then I'll earn money that day. That's about it.
Well, back to your YouTube channel. When you first started a channel, what content were you doing on there, skating related? You weren't doing the Blader news from the beginning, were you?
No. So the channel I had since I was little, I just used to upload my like edits and stuff from when I was skating with my mates and stuff. And then I have no idea really where I got the urge to start making videos, but the first like video I started making when I went from like when I started posting consistently was when I was skating the razor shifts and I had a problem with them and I felt like I needed to tell people about it. So I made like a review talking about the razor shifts. And then I was kind of like, from then I had like a challenge to try upload every week. And that's how it all started kind of. But yeah, the main idea to get me started was just mainly for me. I wanted to capture like, because at the time I felt like I was like flatlining in my own personal skating where it felt like I wasn't learning anything and stuff. And I thought that maybe if I like actually recorded it and actually uploaded it, then I could look back and actually see how much I'm improving. That's like one of the original goals, as well as, you know, I had big inspiration from Laura Back to Blading. He was a big one. And Ricardo Lino. And I saw there was like, you know, there's very little people making stuff on YouTube for rollerblading. And I was watching like a lot of skateboarding content as well. I was like, you know, I might as well give it a go, you know? And yeah, if I think back, that's how it all kind of started. I had no plan to start. I just kind of just did it. And then I'm still here now, like 5 years later, still trying to upload every week.
And then the Blader News Show. How did the Blader News Show come about?
This is real weird. I never set out to make a rollerblade news show. It kind of just happened. It's really funny. It all started, the first episode I'd call Blader News, this was before I even called it Blader News, was just a kind of a knee-jerk reaction video I made to when Barlow shut down. And yeah, John said like, Barlow's no more. He did the big post right with the 4 dots at the end. And I made a video like, because I was really sad about that, because I was wanting to go skate Barlows. It was like the next skate I was going to buy. And I was so disappointed about that I made this quick video about it, saying like, oh, this is really dumb. You know, I'm sad about this, but the 4 dots means maybe there's a new skate company coming. And then like, obviously them skates came out and I made a video saying like, this new skate coming, them skates. And then people really liked that. Those 2 videos like really did well. They started to like, it really is the whole start of my channel actually growing, was that point there. A big point of that, I think, is because Roller News, they shared my video, like talking about everything we knew about them skates. And that brought a bunch of new people to my channel, and that kind of kickstarted everything. And then from there, I saw people obviously wanted to have a show, you know, talking about stuff happening in rollerblading, like keep them up to date. And so I started Blader News there as kind of as like with no plan. Like I was going to post once a month because like nothing was happening in blading back then, you know. and then here we are now. And it led to this, and now it's like the only consistent show on my channel that I have going.
So you were there before Biz did This Week in Blade?
Yes. I remember finding Biz's first episode, and I was like, damn, this dude is dude's gonna be so good. And I was like, the first thing I did was I shared it on my news show, saying like, there's this dude, he's gonna do this way better than me. Make sure you check it out. And it was like, I'm fairly sure he had no idea I was doing anything as well. It was like completely separate, you know? So it was like, it's just, yeah, it was cool though. Yeah. But yeah, I started first.
Do you get along with Biz? I saw you guys did a collaboration show a while ago where you took over your channel.
Yeah.
Then he poked some fun at you here and there. But you guys have a good relationship.
Yeah, we're homies, you know. We have like a beef we're like rivals, but we're not really rivals, nothing but massive respect to Biz. I love his show. I personally think it's the better show. I know it's like, I think like I have nothing bad to say about him. He's such a good dude. I love his skating as well. And I love his show, obviously. And I think whenever I go to look at skateboarding, right, and I see they have their new show, right, their big new show, it's at Skateline. And if you compare like Skateline to This Week in Blading is blessed. Our show is so much better in every regard, But yeah. Nothing but love for Biz. He's the man.
And now there's 3 blading news shows.
Yes.
Tom came on the scene, and Tom's, a little different take on it because he's absolutely hilarious.
Yes. Yeah. Tom. Wow. Tom's so good, dude. I absolutely love him as well. He's come so far in such a quick time. Like, he's quickly become one of my favorite channels to watch, especially recently. He has all these like really good takes. And he is so goddamn funny, man. It's so good. It's so much competition now.
There's definitely competition because, I'll watch all 3 of you guys' show in a week, and it's a lot of the same material, on there. What do you think? I know that Tom's doing not just news shows, he's doing a lot of other kind of rollerblading type shows, and you were doing some tutorials and some skating videos too. Biz is mainly just a news show.
Yeah.
Do you think all 3 of you can keep that news format going at the same time in the future, or do you think somebody like Tom's going to get away from it and just do more different types of shows?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think there is room for all of us. It's like the good thing about having 3 shows, is if you watch all 3, you'll get all the news. There's always something that someone misses. And but yes, I do. I don't see Tom leaving anytime soon. I can see him quickly taking off, being like very quickly being one of the top for sure. Look at him now. He's already killing it. Yeah, it is an interesting question. I'm kind of afraid to even think about the fact that, we don't really need 3 news shows, but who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that is a good point. Like, I never planned to do Blading News forever. Like the thought of stopping it now seems pretty much impossible, but like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm going to do Blading News forever. And I'm sure Tom, since he's not dialing down on it, he's probably in a similar boat. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I like Tom. Tom's all this other content he's doing. Same with David from Wheel Scene. They've started to step up on a lot of different content, which has been really cool and interesting. And I think they're both good content creators.
The Wheel Scene ones, man. Wow, every single one's been such a banger, man. Like, geez, that's so funny, man.
What's your favorite YouTube channel?
Oh, that's a good question. Right now for rollerblading, it's definitely Tom. It has to be Tom right now. This is the one that I have to watch. I'm in a weird boat. I'm trying to get myself out of this now, but because I have to watch stuff for Blading News, it started to ruin watching blading stuff for me because I have to consciously be watching it. I can't like chill out and watch it. So it's been hard. Yeah. So yeah, but I'm trying to get back into it because I know that that's quite a big downside, and it's probably one of the main reasons I'm infamous for saying people's names wrong and shit. That's because I haven't been watching enough blading shit.
Yeah, I saw you got roasted by David.
Yeah, back to back. Yeah, from David and Tom. Tom brought it up as well. Damn. Yeah.
Now that you've been doing the channel for a while, were there any goals you made for yourself, or do you have any goals with what you want to do with the channel?
I've tried to have like a goal every year. That the main goal of my channel was once it actually started getting steam, I wanted to just like help blading any way I can. That was the main thing, to kind of like use YouTube to show people that, blading is still around, which I think people know now since we've kind of really picked up steam because of COVID. And just like, yeah, just get skating out there and also to keep myself skating. That was the 2 things I wanted to do. But yeah, every year I've always had I've done like a sub goal and stuff like that. And I think last year was the only year I didn't do one. And I think it's important to set goals like that. I think actually putting it out there like a sub goal, I think it gives a good chance of it actually happening. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, for this year, I put a sub goal out. I'm still afraid to say it, but I'm going all out. I want to get to 30K subs by the end of the year. It probably won't happen. We're not on track for it to happen, but you never know, right? And yeah, my goal is for the challenge just to keep having fun with it, pretty much. Just to get better. Always try to improve, try new things. Keep it going.
How hard is it to actually make a living doing a rollerblading YouTube channel? Do you think it's possible? I mean, I know Ricardo Lino's doing pretty well and some other guys, but realistically, what should people expect?
I don't think you should ever set out to do that. I think it's kind of like, it's going to be very hard to do. I think it's not quite enough people out there yet to make it to like a livable kind of income, like you'll be, I think at best you'll be on like a scraping by income. So, and I think if you go into making content in a mindset that you want to live off it, then I think you kind of ruin your chances of getting to that point. Because once you're trying to like live off the money instead of like reinvesting the money back in, then you can't do as much, and then when you have like downfalls and stuff, and when stuff starts not going the right way, it snowballs a lot worse when it's something you're really trying to like live off versus some hobby you're doing for fun. So if anyone is thinking like to get into it to get as a job, I definitely encourage them to do it as a hobby, do it for fun, don't do it for a job, and you'll find more success that way anyway, I think. But
yeah, wise words. I agree with you. It's definitely a lot of work,
Yes.
Amount of time spent working on YouTube videos, I could make, probably 100 times as much work at McDonald's.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't pay good until you're like at the very, very tip top, and that's like not even at the tip top of blading, that's like the tip top of YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think, I mean, Ricardo does it right because he does the merch and he does the shop and everything like that. And then I know you're making some Blader News gear.
Yeah.
How's that? Do people order it? How's that?
Yeah, it's been good. So I have my have my like merch clothing store I have called Laced NZ, and that's kind of like that whole company was like it's a dream I had in high school. To like start like a skate company, kind of skate shop that I did with me and my cousin. I remember we just used to brainstorm this idea for like this brand that would make everything rollerblading. And then I made my YouTube channel, and I think this is right when I hit 1,000 subs. I wanted to do something for it. I was like, we'll launch a merch company, right? And then from there, I made Laced NZ, or Laced, which turned into Laced NZ. And I started it as like a print on demand, typical merch shop that like everyone has, like, like Teespring, things that people use. And every year I kind of like, I'm like, yep, this is how I like it. And then by the end of the year, I don't like it. So I changed it. And so I've taken it from a print on demand thing to now I actually physically stock stuff here at my house and ship them out myself from New Zealand to people in the States, which is a big ask because shipping costs are a bit crazy. It does well. It helps me out a lot, and it's a lot of fun. Once again, like if I really put it down to how much time I put in and how much money it earns me, it's definitely not worth it. It'd be in the negatives for sure. But it's stuff people buy it, which I really appreciate. Shout out to everyone who's bought some. And I really enjoy doing it. And speaking of, I've got a new clothing item that I'm so hyped on right now that I've been working on just before we came on here. I've been doing all the like pictures for it and stuff. And I've just got to make an edit for it with my mate, hopefully this week sometime, probably edit. And I think everyone's going to really like it. So
awesome.
No plugs.
I'll make sure to put a link to your clothing store so people can check it out for Laced.
Cheers.
And you make laces for Laced.
Yes. Yeah, that's funny. That's another thing. The first product I brought out, I remember one of the comments someone said was like, how do you not have laced laces? It kind of is like a joke. And I was like, you know what? That's pretty good. That's a pretty good idea. And so I set out to try to do that last year. And the big focus I wanted to have with Laced is, I'm leaning towards now is trying to make it more kind of like, I want to know that everyone involved in making it is like getting treated fairly and stuff, and I want to also try to lessen the like impact on the environment because everyone knows, clothing is terrible for the planet. no matter what you do, like just the baseline getting like a t-shirt is so bad. So I tried to lessen that. And so I tried to make some laces locally here in New Zealand. And I got these ones. I actually got them, I think. I made these laces. Let me see, probably not. And they weren't very good. They're like shoelaces, so they're not very strong. They're like very like thin and bad, but I had already ordered a bunch of them. I was like, oh man, what do I do? So I ended up manufacturing some in China instead. And this is the latest ones now that you can actually get in America, because shout out to Oak City Skate Shop, they stock them. Massive improvement, man. I got much better laces now. I've got some unbranded ones here, but yeah, it's like started as a joke, but now it's my most successful product for sure. The laces, I think the good thing about that is, it's because the big wall I have for selling like merch, that isn't like a print on demand kind of setup, is shipping it to like the people who watch my stuff. Because most of the people who watch my stuff are in America, and I'm all the way in New Zealand. So, whenever you buy anything, you're going to spend like at least, like $15 on shipping alone, at least. So a big benefit to me would be to getting the stuff into skate shops. But it's very, very hard to get skate shops to stock clothing, because the margins aren't good, and shipping is expensive. But the good thing about the laces is they are small, you can ship them for not too much. You can ship a lot of them for not too much, a long distance, and they have a better profit margin. So thanks to them, I can actually get them into skate shops. And that's why that's been definitely my most successful product so far as merch for my channel,
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Who would have expected laces being a successful product?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's weird. Yeah.
So what else do you have? T-shirts? What else do you have?
Yeah, so it's mostly just clothing items. Like right now, I do like a limited runs, so I just try to sell out. I have a few shirts left now, but yeah, it does change a lot. So it's all clothing items right now. Clothing items, stickers, laces. That's it.
If you could release any item, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I always wonder about this because people say like when I was in high school thinking up lace, I did design skates and stuff, but now that I'm growing up, I don't think I want to be like I don't want to make skates. I'd rather, if I had like a skate, I'd rather be like a collaboration with someone. So it wouldn't be like a skate. And the same with a wheel. People say like, I've had so many people tell me to make a wheel, probably because Biz had this sick TWIB wheel. Shout out to that. That was sick. But that's another thing. I wouldn't want to make wheels just because there's already so many good wheels out there. And I feel like it's such a saturated market that like, I wouldn't be able to make it better. If anything, if I made a wheel, it'd be bad. So if I did a wheel, I'd like that to be a collab as well. So if I could make any product, it would just be something. This is what I'm going to actually trying to do is I want to make just some kind of clothing item completely locally here in New Zealand, completely like handmade by someone here. Something where I know like 100% of the people involved were paid fairly and treated well. And yeah, hopefully I can actually do that by the end of the year, but that's probably it. That's probably the worst answer to that, but yeah.
Has there been any other rollerblading brands out of New Zealand in the past?
We had a wheel company for a bit run by the dude who taught me every trick I know, Scott Brendel. He had that's all we had, because for the longest time, it's very hard to be a rollerblader in New Zealand because we've had no skate shops, we haven't had skates stocked in New Zealand like my whole skating career. That's what, like 13 years plus, probably at least. So, and even getting wheels, we used to have to get wheels from Aggressive Mall and you'd be spending like $80 in shipping for like one set of wheels. So yeah, that was probably the only company I know from New Zealand. It was a wheel company called Square Wheels, and that like kept us all going. It's not around now, but now there is, we do have a skate shop now, which opened up last year, which has been life-changing. It's Shred City Skates. I'm an ambassador for them. Shout out to them. Yeah, so it's just me and him pretty much making like a rollerblading business in New Zealand. So yeah.
And what products does the shop carry?
He gets everything he possibly can for like aggressive rollerblading. So he's like he obviously can't do much, like can't order a shit ton of skates. He's got like low stock, but you know he's got aggressive skates. He's got protective gear. He's got some clothing as well. He's got wheels, kind of everything everything you'd need to blade. So if you're like in New Zealand and you don't know where to get skates, go there.
And what about rec skates? Is there any stores that sell like rec skates in New Zealand?
Not really. There's like if you go to like a normal skate shop, you'll probably find some like brands I've probably never heard of skates, you know, which is not a good sign. But you can't even get like power slide skates. You can't find them anywhere. You can't find even rollerblade brand most of the time. You can get Impalas. That's probably the one pair of skates you can get in New Zealand. Shoot City is starting to stock some more free skate stuff because people have been asking for it. But I think it's still early days. But yeah, you can't get like any decent rec skates really in New Zealand.
Do you see skaters in the wild, like rec skaters or big wheel skaters ever?
Yeah, see them around. Yeah, we see a few around. Like especially, it's definitely picked up recently. Like yeah, people definitely still do it somehow. Probably not on good skates. I haven't looked too closely, so you probably can get like K2s and stuff as well. So that's not bad at skate shops. But yeah, they're around, and people like hire rollerblades out and skate around the waterfront and stuff. I see, so it's around. And like aggressive skaters, like I do run into aggressive skaters sometimes, but it's very rare. You know?
How big is your scene that you hang out with?
This is weird for me to even explain because I feel like it's so different. But the most people I ever regularly skate with is like one other person. And that's like my whole region of players, you know. So whenever we have like a comp in New Zealand, that's when we have like a crew of like maybe 50 people or so. That's like the only time you'd have an actual decent group of players. And my whole skating career, I've always been skating with like one or two other people. And that's how big the scene usually is around me. And yeah, mostly skating by myself. But I'm definitely, it could be just me thinking that. I feel like I'm not super in touch. Like I'm probably the worst person to hit up to go skate. I don't know why, but yeah.
What city do you live in?
Wellington, New Zealand. So it's the capital of New Zealand.
And what city has the biggest skate scene there?
Auckland for sure. They're probably the only one that has like a decent sized scene. I'm sure there's like at least they're probably going to hear this and be like, yeah, right. There's probably like a good 20 of them up there. I think like a crew that skate regularly.
And how far is that from you?
Say that. It's like off the top of my head, it's probably like a 7-8 hour drive, like an hour flight. So it's doable, but I've never gone to skate there though, which is not good. It's like by far the biggest city in the country. It's like
you should do an episode on the channel about skating in Auckland.
There's some real like the parks there are way better. The street spots are insane. It would be really cool, yeah. But yeah, if you come to New Zealand, like Auckland is like probably the only city that's like what an American would think is a city, you know, or what anywhere else in the world would think is a city. Everywhere else in New Zealand, like our cities are very small, like the one I live in here.
How many people live in your
very
city?
Small. Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. It's probably, I think it could be completely wrong, but it's like 500,000 people, something like that. You know, I don't even think that's right. It might be less than that, but yeah. And then like Auckland probably has like 2 million plus, I think. So,
have you done any traveling for skating, like outside of New Zealand?
Not really. I've gone to the States once, not really for skating. I went there because my partner, my girlfriend, she's from America. She's from Maine. So we went there to visit her parents and I met her parents and stuff. I brought my skates and I did some skating over in Maine and stuff like that. But I haven't really done like a trip to go skate overseas. We're planning to do one right as COVID happened. There was a trip to, I think it might have been to the States. We're going to go to the Blading Cup, like a group of us New Zealand boys. But then, yeah, COVID happened. So that's been on hold forever, you know?
Well, if you ever visit your girlfriend's family again, I live really close to Maine.
Oh, yeah.
And I know all the skaters in Maine. There's a really good scene there. I mean, not a huge scene, but there's some good skaters there. So I go to Maine quite a bit. I'm like maybe 2 hours from Maine.
Oh, yeah, damn. Yeah, because I went for one session with some of the locals I think I made one session. It might have been where was it? I can't remember. Nah, I can't remember. It's gone. But it was a really good session. Good park. There's a new park. I want to say it's Portsmouth. No,
Portsmouth is in New Hampshire. There's Rye Airfield was there.
Oh, I did go to Rye a lot. That's where I was skating probably mostly.
That's what Portsmouth is. Rye Airfield. Rye Airfield's gone now. It's shut down.
Oh, I did hear that. That's so sad. Oh. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a cool park. It's going to be a climbing gym now in trampoline park or something silly.
Wow, that sucks.
So
damn, that was like by far the best park I was skating when I was over there.
That's the closest park. It was the closest park to me in the States. I live 2 hours from Montreal, so Montreal's got some really good skate parks, but the border's been closed for like 2 years. So
true, yeah.
It's haven't really been able to go over there. Now, for the scene in New Zealand, the skating scene, most skaters, the only thing they know about New Zealand is Brooke Howard-Smith.
Yeah.
And then Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, and maybe Dead Alive or something. Who's the best skater in New Zealand right now?
Oh, I would say this guy, Kyle Tangent. His nickname's Meat. I would say he's consistently skating the best right now. He's like winning every single comp we ever had. It's just ridiculous seeing him out there. He's like so good, man. Yeah, he's a good dude.
And who's the most legendary New Zealand skater of all time?
Ooh, of all time. Ooh, it's funny because I never knew Brooke Howard-Smith was in rollerblading. He was like he's kind of like, I don't want to say a celebrity in New Zealand, but he was on TV. He did like some shows, like as I was growing up, like some like just normal television shows. Never knew he was a rollerblader. Never knew he invented the Royale, right? The Royale, like what the fuck? That's so sick. The most legendary, I mean, I'm going to say, damn, off the top of my head, that's a hard one. I feel like I'm going to make some enemies. Most legendary, I'd probably say for me, probably not for everyone. It's dude, Jamie Nicholson. He was one of the dudes that really helped me out when I first got into blading. He was the only dude I knew in New Zealand that was sponsored. He was on the Rems team for a bit. And he was ridiculous.
Awesome. Yeah, I've seen some skating from New Zealand, over the years, and New Zealand's definitely a place I've always wanted to go to. Mainly, because the landscapes are so cool.
Yeah. Really, it's very unique. I've noticed that when I come back, it's like, wow, it's different.
Do you do a lot of traveling around New Zealand to the countryside, or?
I've not really. We did do a trip around the whole country at one point. And I remember I was the only one at every single one of like things we did that was a New Zealander. Was the only one at that time. So definitely not common to do that. But yeah, I don't really get to travel around much now. I pretty much just stay here. Yeah.
And what's the skate parks like in your town? Do you have some skate parks?
Yeah, we're getting a few new ones, some upgrades recently, but the one in the city I'm in, I can't really stand it. I hate it. I complain about it a lot. It doesn't look bad when you see it, but there's something so bad about the vibe there. I don't like it. They added the most perfect flat rail ever. It's so good, man. I've been skating it so much. So it used to be like a wall for graffiti. They chopped it down and just put the circle rail that's about knee height. And it's like a really good length. It's like, oh man, how many meters? I don't know. I can't. It's long. It's perfect for it's so good for letting rail. So that makes that skate park probably one of the best just from that. The rest of the skate park you can forget about, but that rail is really good. But we have there's a few they've just kind of gone around upgrading of the park. So it's definitely gotten a lot better recently. And there's some pretty good parks around now. And that's one thing I noticed when I was in the States is that I take for granted here is that since New Zealand's so small, the next towns and cities really aren't that far away. So you have a lot more skate parks, even if they suck, there's a lot more kind of closer together. But it's probably just where I was in Maine.
Do you have any indoor parks?
We have one that I've never been to in Auckland. We need indoor parks. We don't really need indoor parks, but it would be nice to have some indoor parks. But no, I've only heard bad things about the one in Auckland. That's the only one we have.
So things in New Zealand are a bit opposite from here. So right now it's about 8 p.m. on Monday, and there it's 2 p.m. on Tuesday,
Yep,
right?
I'm coming to you from the future. Yep.
So, I'm talking to you tomorrow and you're talking to me yesterday, which is
Yes. Oh
crazy.
man, it gets very confusing. Yeah.
And we're having a very cold winter and you're in the summer right now.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a good time to skate right now. Yeah.
And what's your weather like in the summertime? Does it get really hot or is it mild?
The New Zealand weather overall is very mild. Like if you put it on like a global scale, it never really gets hot and it never really gets cold. But when you live here, it does feel like it gets really hot and really cold, So the hottest it'll probably ever get here, like ever, is like they're gonna be Celsius. I'm sorry to the Americans, it'll be gets to like 30 degrees Celsius. And like it never snows. So in the winter, the worst thing about the winter is it rains. That's the only thing we have to worry about. Yeah. And it's kind of nice because it's cool. If you get a dry day in the winter, it's so good for skating, I think. It doesn't get too cold.
I know New Zealand has some famous ski mountains. How far is the ski areas from where you live?
I don't know too much about them. I think there's probably a good, like a 3-hour drive probably from where I am. But yeah, I never skied. I've done snowboarding once and I hated it. And I feel like I should have done skiing.
Yeah, well, if you get a chance, or if you visit your girlfriend's family in the wintertime, Maine has really good ski areas.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Yeah, because my girlfriend's from York, Maine, which is like on the coast. So.
Okay, that's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
Did you have some lobster when you were in Maine?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's the first time and only time I had lobster because I'm vegetarian now, and I was like turning to vegetarian then, and I was like, I was visiting. I was like, I have to try lobster. It was probably the last meat I ate actually.
Do you do anything like outside of skating and doing your Blader News and your Twitch stream? You're in school?
I'm going back to school this year. Yeah, I'm doing a diploma in creative marketing this year. So yeah, it hasn't started yet. I'm pretty excited for that. It seems very aligned with stuff I'm interested in. Like it's like got content creation and like design and filmmaking, stuff like that. A bunch of stuff that I'm really interested in. But yeah. Before that I was just like working jobs that don't care about at all, kind of thing.
And how long is the school program supposed to last for?
It's only a year long, so
okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah. It can lead to like a bachelor, but yeah, I don't have to do that. We'll see.
Well, then outside of working and skating and YouTubing, do you have any other interests or hobbies?
Not really. Yeah, it's probably skating is the main thing I do for sure.
Cool. Well, we all love skating here, so that's a good choice.
Yeah.
I wanted to get a little bit on your backstory. First of all, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26, and then you've been skating for how long?
13 years. Like I've probably been rollerblading longer than that. Like I started like seriously aggressive skating in 2009 when I started high school. I remember that for sure. That's when I really took it seriously from there.
And how did you get into aggressive skating?
I think we had like I think how I even found out about it was we had a wheels day at my primary school, which it's like when you can bring something with wheels to like use during like lunchtime, and I met this other young rollerblader too, and he was doing like jumping the stairs and stuff, and he invited me out to go like skate the street after school, and we had a little half pipe locally. And I didn't even know it was called aggressive skating, but I was doing it then. And then I think he showed me like videos of vert skaters, and that's what got me hooked from there. Vert skating, and I remember the section we used to always watch. It was on YouTube, Alex Brosco's KFC, one of the KFC sections. Yeah, we used to watch it all the time. So I was like, that's what really got me into it. And I didn't even know it was called aggressive skating. I didn't even know they were called aggressive skates. Like there's no skate shops, so I had no way to get skates. Like, yeah, it was, I don't know. I was very lucky that I found out about it. And even from there, we went to like the skate park, and I remember seeing the older dudes all like skating the like ledge there. And I was like, damn, that's so cool. They're like doing all like the grinds. It looks so like smooth. And I was like completely hooked from then on, you know?
Do you remember what your first skates were?
So I had my first ever like pair of skates that wasn't aggressive, was just like a random pair of like, you know, kind of generic ones everyone has, like shitty, like I got it from a secondhand store. I had like straps, you know, I don't have any, they look terrible, the worst ones you could possibly ever get. My first pair of like aggressive skates, I don't know what they were called, but they were some RBs. They were like this horrible green color. They had like a they had like a brown leather line. I remember if I searched up, I tried to find it the other day and I couldn't find it. But when I was searching like RB skates on Google, it was like the first example, but I think it's gone now. But they were, yeah, I don't know what the name was because I got them secondhand on Trade Me, which is like our eBay. And they were my first ones. And then my first ones I bought brand new was a Razor Genesis 8s that I got from Aggressive Mall. And I got a size US 13 because I was worried I'd grow out of them. So I had these massive white skates that was way too big for me. And I remember when I got those skates, I was so hyped. And we just like look at them like, wow, I have like an actual skate. Because when I had the RBs, obviously that was so out of date when I got them, because that would have been like 2009, something like that. It's like, wow.
What's your
like
shoe
no
size?
sole plates. So now I skate at US 10 and a half.
So that's crazy. You bought a 13 when you were like still young, and if I had a smaller, it was a 10 and a half.
I wish I had pictures or something, because I bet you they looked ridiculous.
That's amazing. What's you said you watched like vert videos and stuff. Have you ever tried skating vert?
So in my little hometown that I started skating in, there was like a vert ramp there. It's not really a vert ramp though. It was probably like maybe 6 foot, but it was vert. So it wasn't very good. So my origin of like skating was skating half pipe. But yeah, I've always really wanted to get into vert, but I really struggled with it. It's so scary. I've recently started skating vert more now because there's this young dude, Malachi, shout out to him. He's so cool. He's like the best vert skater we have in the country. He's so good. And he's real into vert, and I just went skating with him, and he's been like teaching me things. It's so sick. And yeah, so now I've kind of like found that old memory of like how fun it is to skate ramp, and I'm trying to get more into vert. But I'm telling you, it's like it's so hard, man. I like just airing out the vert. I cannot work it out. No matter what I do, I'm too scared to like commit to pumping through it because I know I'm gonna jump. Because on every other like quarter in the world, you got to jump. You know, it's not good.
Vert ramps are scary.
Yeah, and like the young dude, he's like, I think he's 12. He can boost that vert so high, man. He's like, wow, dude, makes it look so easy.
It's good to hear there's some vert skaters in New Zealand.
Yeah,
I know.
There's not many. But yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any around me. But one problem here is most of the skate parks got rid of vert ramps.
Yeah, that's the thing here too. Yeah.
There's one here in Vermont. I just realized there's a ski mountain that has a skate park and they have a vert ramp at it. So I'm gonna go check that out.
Damn.
But, I haven't gotten a vert ramp in 20 years, something like that.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
It's a shame that vert's not so popular now, because it's a very unique side of blading. You know, there's like a whole lot of skills to it that are very different. You know, like even park skating, it's very different. You know, and it's definitely I think a lot of people don't do it because no one's making vert ramps anymore anywhere. And like even the young dude Malachi tells me there's no videos on YouTube for him to watch. You know, I mean, there's no tutorials and stuff like that. There's a massive hole for like learning about vert skating. So if there's any vert skaters listening, they should make some.
Well, the closest skate scene to you is Australia, and Australia has a rich tradition of vert skating. I'm sure there's still some guys ripping up over there. Is there any connection with the Australian and New Zealand skate scenes? Like, do they have any influence on you guys at all? Do people from New Zealand and Australia go back and forth to skate with each other at all?
Yes, we're starting to kind of like connect to get together again now. Like Australia started including us in their like online comp, edit comp they've been doing. It was the I can't remember the name of it, but it's they added this to it, which was super nice. So Australia's kind of like the big brother of New Zealand. You know, they're looking after us. You know, but yeah, it's like they're not super connected. You know, I do think though that like if a rollerblader is going to get anywhere from New Zealand, they need to go to Australia. That's what seems to be the thing. You know, if you're going to get like sponsored or something, usually the person leaves New Zealand and goes to Australia and gets picked up. So yeah.
Have you been to Australia?
I've been once, but I didn't bring my skates, and I was so gutted. I went to Melbourne, and there's so many spots in Melbourne, man. It looks so fun. But yeah, I couldn't bring my skates.
You're doing it wrong. No one, you don't travel without skates.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You're fired from Blader News,
yeah,
dude.
Damn, don't tell them that. Yeah, cut that out.
So yeah, I mean, Australia seems like it's always had really good skate scenes in all their cities.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then a little bit more on your past. Growing up, who was your favorite skater to watch, and what skater had the most influence on you?
So when I first got into skating, it was definitely Alex Brosco, like old school Alex Brosco. But the person probably, there's been quite a few people that had an influence on my skating. I feel like it changes a lot. But for the longest time, it was Brian Aragon, of course. That's why I was always skating Razor SLs, you know, trying to get all the spin to win tricks. That's like still my go-to, and it's all because of Aragon. But then kind of changed recently, you know. I've wanted to be more of like, I've gone to skating flat and stuff, and that's came from like a bunch of different people, I think. Man, I can't think of it at the top of my head though, but yeah. Yeah, probably mostly them, but Alex Brosco still has to be one of my favorite skaters for sure of all time, and probably always will be. Doesn't matter what he does.
Oh, he's a great skater.
Yeah.
There's a lot of younger kids coming up these days. Who are some of your favorite kids to watch skate?
Ooh. So there's this regular dude to my stream who I absolutely love. There's a few of them. They always come and share their clips. There's a guy who goes by Rosie's Boy on Instagram. He is so good, dude. He has so much style for like, and so much like, he's so good at like skating in general already. It's really good to see. There's lots of dudes from like Europe as well. Like there's another young dude called Liam who, wow, man, he's so good. Like I gave him the outro for the last episode of Blader News. Like it's just, he's on a whole nother level, man. Like he's one of those dudes that I'm calling, he's gonna be a pro, you know. He's so good. Wish I could remember his last name, but but yeah. But also like, if we're gonna go real young, there's CO. She's ridiculously good for her age as well. Definitely, like I could watch her stuff and be like, wow, why can't I do any tricks? She's like hasn't been alive as long as I've been skating, and she's so good. And then there's you know, plenty of people killing it. You know, lots of this strong young generation in blading right now, I think, which is really good to see because there was quite a big gap. Like when I was growing up skating, I was the youngest person. I think there was one other dude younger than me. He's 2 years younger than me in our scene, like ever. And there was just no one after us. I think there was going to be no one. Like the end, we had no one to teach except for maybe the older dude's kids if they got into blading. And that was a really scary thing I remember thinking about a lot when I was growing up skating. So it's good to see a new generation, you know.
Oh, it's amazing. So many little tiny kids, and they're really good. I mean, even you at 26 could still be considered young in the sport today.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah. If I ever complain about like an injury or something, people are like, you're only 26, man. It's only gonna get worse.
And you've had an injury, right? You made a video about 2021 kind of sucking. I know you had a foot problem and some other issues. What happened in 2021 that kind of sucked? And then what was good that happened in 2021 for you?
Yeah, that's a good one. So I still have this injury. This thing has been ruining my life, man. So I entered the EFES competition in 2020, right? 2020, and it was the street edit competition. And I got to the finals. And I was filming in it for the finals. So I just did a 540 down this like I can't remember the top of my head, but it's maybe like a 12 set. It's like pretty standard. Nothing. It's not like it's a Chris Haffey gap, you know. It's like very standard. And I spent a day jumping that. It took me a few attempts, and ever since that day, my feet have been completely destroyed. Like I've been told it's called plantar fasciitis, but I'm starting to have doubts of this because that was a year and 3 or so months ago that happened, and it's the same as it was that day. It's the way my feet are now is it's like there's like a pain in my heel if I stand on hard, if I do anything on my feet for the day, no matter what. And like if I go skating now, I cannot do any high impact. It has to be like, you know, skating the vert or like skating like a low ledge. I can't even like consider doing any kind of drops, can't consider doing any handrails. And yeah, it's been very frustrating. But and it hasn't just affected my skating, you know, like it'd be one thing if I like just have to take a break from skating to heal. But it affects my whole life because I can't stand for long. So like say I'm cooking dinner. It's hard for me to cook dinner. It starts to hurt. Want to do dishes. I can't do dishes. I can't like go like walk to pick something up. I can't go grocery shopping, you know, and also I miss out on heaps of like events as well. Like we like to, me and my girlfriend to go on hikes and stuff. I can't even think about doing hikes right now. Yeah, so that's probably the worst. Everything stems from this injury. The worst part of why 2021 sucked for me. But and yeah, I stopped skating for like, I took a good like 6-month break from skating last year in the hopes to heal, and it didn't make a difference at all. And I found that now I'm back to kind of skating almost as much as I want because it doesn't seem to make the injury worse. It just kind of, you know, keeps it the same. But you know, we'll see. I am going to see doctors and stuff before someone says that. I'm seeing a podiatrist and stuff. We'll see. But yeah, the good thing that happened though, obviously, was my channel did exceptionally well last year. It did. It like we've reached a whole lot of peaks, which was cool. You know, we had a few like I had real channel sponsors on YouTube, which is crazy. Like I had Squarespace sponsor some episodes of Blading News. You know, like a mainstream sponsor, which was really cool. And then we had, obviously I got voted the voice of Blade, which is like insanely cool. Like that's a title that's so cool to have, you know, even if who knows what it means, you know, it's still, it's so cool that that's the title I won, you know. I feel like maybe in another life, like I could win like the title, like a rollerblading news show of the year. But it's not the same as getting, you know, Blade Voice of the Year. I got very lucky, I think.
You've been seeing a doctor for your foot.
Yeah.
And have they done any like cortisone shots or anything like that?
Nah. They're pretty much so straight away I got an X-ray. They couldn't see anything wrong. And from there they've just been, it did kind of seem like it was coming right the last time I went. But it's pretty much just like sold me like insoles and told me like to do stretches and, you know, take it easy for a bit. But and it did seem like it's coming right. So the only change I've seen in the injury is that like we're at its worst. Like if I went for a skate or something, I wouldn't be able to do anything for like a week. But now, like if it flares up, then usually it's kind of back to manageable by the next day. So it's like at a manageable point now. So I can like go skate, and then as long as I roll out, then the next day I should be able to still do stuff. But yeah, so like last time I went, I said that I was like, yeah, it seems to be, it's manageable now. But it doesn't seem to be healing. That's the scariest thing. It's like, doesn't seem to be coming right. And it's so sad to like look back. Like, I can't remember what it's like to be able to just stand, or skate and not have to like worry about it. Cause like when you're skating and you got like, I'm thinking about my feet hurting, you know, it like changes the way you skate. You know, you're thinking about, you know, every time you jump off a trick, you know, you're trying to cushion, you know. It's not the same as like, you can't just go out and like, you know, when you like stomp a trick, you know, you can't do that.
Right. Well, hopefully it, you know, works itself out and gets better, you know, over time.
Hopefully, yeah.
Some of those injuries just take a long time to heal.
Yeah. Especially ones like feet and stuff. But it's the worst part. Like if I broke a bone or something, it would have came right by now. Mm-hmm. It sucks.
No, for sure. I had a shoulder. It was like I heard it took about 2 years before it healed.
Ooh.
So,
Oh, okay.
you know, still it can still come back, and you'll be
Yeah.
back on your feet
Can't
again.
wait.
Have you tried any big wheel blading?
Yes, I've done a little bit of big wheel. I do really like it too. I'm always surprised by how much fun it is just to roll around, you know, because like Lino sent me some micro skates back years ago, and that was probably the first time I had some like actual rec skates, and yeah, really enjoyed that. It's so fun. Even like it's like because I've like the only kind of big wheel stuff I've done is kind of like an urban kind of thing, and I really like the mindset. It's so different to aggressive, but like similar. It's like aggressive, but like on chill mode, if that makes sense. That's probably going to come across wrong, but I mean, like for aggressive, when you try to learn a trick, right, you're going to go to like a spot and you're going to like work hard to land this one trick. But then for urban, for the way I see it anyways, you just kind of cruise around and take things as they come, you know, like, you know, so if you won't like sit back and try one trick, you just go through it, see what happens, you know, and keep going.
I think, you know, with big wheels, it's kind of just playful flow, you know.
Yeah.
You just play
fun.
with things as you pass it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
But I suppose if you probably go to like someone making like a video for it, they probably do actually put time into landing like a big gap or something. So,
yeah, for sure. But you know, there's so many different types of skating now. It's like there's so much. I mean, you know, look at wizard skating and you know, use flatland skating.
Yeah.
Have you tried any of that? Have you ever tried a wizard frame or a wizard style frame?
I'd love to try it, but I've never tried it. It looks. I know that's one of those things where when I try it, it's not going to look right when I do it, you know, like it's going to take a lot to make that look, all the like movements look like they're done on purpose, you know, which is why it's so cool to see. Like when you see people do it, it's very impressive. And I remember when I was growing up too, the one thing that a lot of the other, because I used to ride a lot with other people like not rollerbladers, like skateboarders, scooters, BMXs. And the one thing that I always say, they'd go to like a flatland spot and I'd always be like, there's nothing I can do for flatland tricks. But now like, look at wizard skating, you know, there's plenty of flatline tricks we can do, you know, there's like slides, there's like turns, there's heaps of stuff that I never even considered.
Were you ever following Kazu from Japan?
Nah.
The Japanese skater. He's the guy who started a rollerblading Facebook page. He traveled around the US twice. He's an older guy. He's in his 50s now. He skates every day. He's been skating every day for like 10 years. And
wow, okay.
He does all sorts of flatland stuff, but on like, you know, aggressive skates. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, he's like, if you follow him on Instagram, I'll send you a link to his like Instagram please, or Facebook if he's still on social media. But yeah, he does really cool skating stuff.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
What skates are you riding right now?
I'll grab them. Let's see. I'm skating the blanks still. I got the blank rollerblade blanks with the prime frames with the Justin Thursday T60Rs. Yeah, and I really like them. They're good.
Cool. I know Rollerblade sent you those skates to review, right?
That was really cool. Yeah. I think that was kind of just luck. I don't think they planned to send it to me. I think what happened is like so I had someone gave me a mega leak on these skates. They sent me like all the pictures showing that it's a Sean King Pro skate before they'd even like slightly announced it. And then so I made a video on it, and then they Tom from Rollerblade reached out and was like, told me all the shit I got wrong, and was like, we want to send you some. So I was like, okay. You know, it was sick. But yeah, that wasn't too good because they sent me those skates. And I wasn't meant to talk about them until they had the date that they're meant to come out. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but he never told me that. He never told me that. And I did a stream unboxing them, showing them off, talking everything about them, and then edited that down and posted a video about it on my second channel. And then I wake up to a message from him being like, from Tom saying like he wished I didn't like follow the agreement and didn't post them early. And I was like, dude, he never told me. I would never freaking cross a brand like that, especially a rolling brand. So it was really bad. But anyway, he just told me like to take the video down if I could, and I did. And then hopefully we're good now. I hope I haven't burned any bridges. Yeah, that's a interesting story, but I do really like the skates. So like I think they're really good for my feet right now. They're quite like big and open, so I can fit the weird orthopedic insoles that the doctor's given me in there. And they feel a lot like what I remember the Razor SL kind of feeling like, but like better. um, and yeah, they've just been treating me really good. I like the skates a lot. Good.
It's funny. Even if they gave you a date to release a skate, you'd have done it the day before anyway.
Yeah, because that's what I was like. Yeah, I was like,
rollerblading's a day behind.
yeah, I was like, do I do my day? Like that's the time zones are so hard, man.
Yeah, for sure. What's the favorite skate you ever skated?
It's hard for me to choose now because of my feet. Like I can't skate the way I want to skate. But look wise, I'm gonna say the M12s. I love the M12s, but I can't say that confidently now because I was skating the M12s when I did my injury to my feet, and obviously that's put a pretty negative a negative opinion on the skates. And a big part of me blames the skates for what happened, because I think there's a few things that caused it. One, I think I was riding the skates were probably too small for me, because now when I try on my M12s that I have here, they feel very tight. Like it feels like my foot's really being like held in, like it's just fits, And if I put another skate on, there's like room to breathe. And I think my foot being squished like that when I jumped such a high impact where my feet needed to kind of like cushion, I don't think that was good. And also the fact that the skate has no shock absorption in it, obviously didn't help me. And this isn't Rosie's fault, but I was skating the symmetric aluminum frames at the time, which is a metal frame that has no shock absorption as well, So it's hard for me to say that's my favorite skate of all time with that knowledge now that it's probably the reason I can't skate how I want to skate right now. But yeah, if we go off just looks and if I had to do a specific one, I think it would have to be the Bobby Spazoff M12. It's my favorite looking skate of all time. But my favorite like skate performance wise, it's even harder. I learned everything I know on the Razor SL, and I loved those skates for years. I mean, I'm almost tempted to try them again, but I don't know. I don't really like what Razor's been doing recently. So, but yeah, performance-wise, probably the SL if I had to choose, SL or Aeons.
And is there any skates you've hated that you just didn't like skating?
This is gonna be a hot take, but the skates I didn't like skating the most, which is probably the M908s, the V1s. I skated those. I got them as soon as they came out, and I don't like the sole plate, and the boot really fell apart. This was going to happen with like the first ever skate a brand brings out, but this is probably the worst performing skate I've ever skated. Like it put me off ever skating M12, ever skating VMs again, mainly because of the sole plate. I found with the sole plate, it would give me what I would call like a false lock. I always bring this up, but whenever I do was doing like alley sole tricks or true sole tricks, anything backwards, I found the heel would slip out despite it feeling locked in. And I got smoked so many times on like rail, on ledge. And then when I went to the M12s after, the M12s, they don't lock the same as the M skate. Like a M skate, you can feel it kind of lock in, you can hold the grind. But an M12s, you don't. You kind of just on the edge of like a ledge or something, But they didn't give me like a false lock, and I think that was the big difference that maybe like them more. But now that the M skates have a new sole plate, it's like top priority. I want to go skate the 909. I really want to try them out again because God damn it, I really want to like them skates. I really do.
Have you tried? You haven't worn the 909s before?
Nah, I never tried them. Never tried them on or anything. Yeah. I haven't even really seen them, I don't think. I must have, yeah.
I haven't seen them either, but that's only because I live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's been COVID for 2 years, so I haven't really gone anywhere.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Do you skate to music?
Yes, I do. I'm noticing recently that skating with music can make a big difference to how your session goes. Because I don't always skate with music. But like, because we had a competition last weekend. It was like a casual competition, like a skate meet pretty much. And I noticed the difference. I noticed all the people who placed, all listening to music, all just in their own zone, listening to music, you know? And I noticed even if I listen to music, that's like the motivation's different, you know? You're more likely to try something that scares you, you know? So yes.
What music do you listen to that gets you stoked on skating?
The stuff that works the best is just stuff straight taken from skate videos, for sure. Like one I've been skating to a lot recently is just the song from Basement, the one with the cones. Dance. That just the soundtrack from that makes me feel like I can do like a million switch ups. And then there's some just like that's what I found works the best. But I listen to like more like hip hop kind of stuff. But I don't have any genre these days. Pretty
So skate video songs.
Yeah,
good for you.
Yeah,
I think that's probably a lot of people have skate video song playlists of songs and videos and sections that they've seen and liked.
It really makes a difference.
Well, yeah, for sure. I don't personally listen to music when I skate, mainly just because I don't want to run into people or get run into not hearing them.
Yeah. I found it's also hard to like if you're not if you're skating with people too, it kind of ruins the vibe, you know. If you're like ignoring people, you have to like take them out to talk to people. So like it's a solo session, I always have music, and like now I'm thinking every time like, there's a comp or something, I'll have music. So get in your own zone, you know. But yeah.
It's funny. My friend Frank Stoner was in Madrid, Spain one summer, and he said when he came back, like he would go to a skate park and every kid was listening to headphones. So no one ever talked to each other, you know, everyone's just listening to music and like, instead of sucks, like
continue there by yourself. Yeah.
Wow. I saw that you're doing, you're learning some 3D graphics right now.
Yes. Yeah, I was doing that today. Actually, I was trying to finish some tutorials. I'm just doing that kind of because what I wanted to do for the streams and for Bladed News is I want to build like a virtual studio. And I was like, I could probably pay someone to make me something, or I could do it on Photoshop or something. But I made a really bad scene for like a Blade News studio, like a fake kind of scene that I have like a big news studio that I green screen myself into. And it's just like, it's too blurry. It's not good. So I was like, you know what? I'll learn how to 3D model. I've just been trying to learn Blender and done the online tutorials, you know, the free ones, the one everyone's done where you make a donut and then you have to do something yourself. So I made a wheel and that's what I posted. And now I'm doing a chair. And then hopefully, I'll build, my plan is to build like a bunch of different kind of scenes to green screen into for streams. Like I want to just have like a nice room. I want to have like a skate park. I want to have a news studio. That's the big one. And if it's good enough, I'll use it for Bladed News, you know. I really want to, that's the whole reason I did it. Yeah.
And what software are you using?
Blender.
Okay. Do you follow any of the 3D graphics that Mike Johnson does?
I've seen a few of them. Yeah, I've seen a couple.
You know, he's worked for a lot of films. Right? Yeah, he's really good. Worked for a lot of films, but the thing about Mike is he learned everything. Initially, he learned everything just on YouTube tutorials.
Wow.
You know, like he wasn't schooled for it. You know, he just learned from watching tutorials and got really good.
Damn. Yeah, because I've seen his Instagram, man. I didn't realize it was 3D stuff. That's even more impressive.
Yeah.
Damn.
So for the channel, now that you have your injury, so you can't really do as many like skating videos right now, right?
Yeah.
Or review videos. Do you have any other like ideas for different types of videos outside of the Blader News that you might do in the future? Have you?
That's been the biggest struggle, yeah, because that's the stuff I like doing the most. Obviously, is the skating part because obviously I like skating. You know, that's the best part. Like I still love making edits and stuff, and like just like capturing raw skating, like a you know how you have the old clips of the old pros on your channel, right? I'd love to make more content for that, even if it's just me. You know, no, I'm not a pro, but you know, I love the idea of showing like more raw skating. That's what I really want to do. So it's something that's kind of another reason why last year was kind of bad for me because I haven't been able to do that just because of my injury. But yeah, outside of that, I don't really have any solid plans. I can still skate, so I'm still gonna try do stuff. I can have like one session on skates to try them out. So I still plan to like try some skates out and still get edits done to promo lace stuff like I want to do. But yeah, outside of that, I've got nothing in stone that I'm gonna do for sure. Because I got school this year, so I'm kind of just gonna take it as it comes. Try some new formats and just try things out. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna have quite a bit less time.
Yes,
this year
yeah.
with
It's gonna be
school.
scary.
Yeah. So so Rollerblade sent you skates, and you said Ricardo sent you some micro skates. Has any other
Yeah.
brands sent you anything for Blader News?
So yeah, Lino was the first one to send me skates ever. So shout out to him. Appreciate it. Conjure was the first brand to ever send me wheels too. I've just got like enough wheels. I suppose I haven't really been able to skate, but I haven't had to buy wheels in years now, just thanks to people sending them, which is dope. But yeah, Impala sent me skates as well, which was cool. The skates are sick. That was just for Blader News as well. Other than that, having talking to Matthias too, he's looking to help me out now too, I think, which is cool. So I should be able to get anything power slide, which is everything, which would be good. But yeah, very lucky. Very lucky. If you're
Get
very
yourself
spoiled.
a nice big wheel setup.
Yeah, cruise around. That's the other thing that I found, like because I did think about just doing some more big wheel stuff while I have this injury, but I found that hurts me just as much as aggressive, because even just standing on skates is too much. And and at that point, I might as well be doing aggressive because I enjoy it more. So that's why, yeah. So if I could do one or the other, yeah, which is a shame. But well, yeah.
So we're gonna see you at any events in the future, like Blading Cup?
That's definitely on the like must do list. But I have nothing in stone yet. I'm kind of a bit too broke to even, and also because of COVID, this travel is very much, can't even think about doing it right now. But
No, I
definitely
fully
gonna
understand.
make it out. Yeah, definitely plan to make it to Blading Cup at some point, and Winter Clash for sure as well. And I really Woodward right is on my bucket list for sure. I have to go there one day, man. Yeah, I did want to go to this. What year is it? But is that still on?
It's not a Woodward anymore, but they have it at.
Yeah.
They have one at Clark Kirkman's ramp, and then they have one at Schmitty's ramp and camp.
Okay, damn. Okay,
which are both pretty cool, ramp setups. Woodward's changed ownership now, and again, so everything's changed a little bit. I know they still do they've still been doing a weekend there. It's just not associated with
I think I saw that.
Long and Cameron anymore.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely recommend, if I was going to go anywhere, I'd recommend Winter Clash.
Yeah.
Foremost,
that's what everyone's been saying.
The biggest event.
Yeah.
And it's, cool city, and there's events before and after.
Yeah.
So,
make
there's
it
a lot
worth
to
the
do.
trip.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much sums up most of the questions I have. Was there anything you wanted to mention, talk about yourself, or things in the future you're doing that we didn't cover?
No, that pretty much summed it up. That's everything I'm doing this coming year. It's just, I'm going to be in school. So I'm just, I love the channel. I'm going to keep working on it hard as much as I can. And I'm really going to try. My goal for this year is to just like try new stuff out. That's the big thing. And really we want to just try and make better videos, that's the plan, I'm not like abandoning it. I'm still going to really focus on it hard, but yeah, I'm going to have less time. So we'll see.
Well, I look forward to seeing what you come up with. And there's seems like there's a new YouTube channel every day.
Yeah.
Like when I go online, so it's cool to see it,
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing different things. There's a lot of just skating, a lot of people just skating at skate parks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool. It's, good skating out there. So it's a good thing. I think if everybody just kind of supports each other, they can all grow at the same time for the most part.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah,
I do think having a bit of an identity crisis with my channel where I'm like, don't know what exactly I want to dial in on, because I kind of from the start I tried to really do everything, and like in the years of doing that, I've seen there's a bit of a downside to that where when you're trying to do everything, you kind of don't do anything like really well. You kind of just do everything all right, so still stuff to learn, we'll see.
It's definitely
as long as I get to skate.
It's all a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's like, I'm trying to figure out different shows to do too, because I have so much content, not just video, just like archives of skating stuff, and I know a lot of people, and I have a lot of news footage, and it's just like, but getting it all together, it's like I need a team.
Yeah. And even with a team, it'd be so much work, there's so much work that goes into it that a lot of people don't think about it. So much hours, so much time. But
so my last question for you is, what do you love the most about rollerblading, and what's kept you in this sport for over half of your life?
It's got to be just one of the best escapes from the real world, so it's the one thing that's kind of always there no matter what, and it's like whenever I'm not feeling good or something, it always helps me out. It's the first thing I want to do, and every time it helps, and I've just always enjoyed it. It's always been fun, and it keeps me coming back because it's fun. It's just nothing's the same. Nothing matches that same vibe of like just going out by yourself, overcoming things, yourself day by day, and just having fun, like surprising yourself with what you can do. It's very unique, I think, at least as far as I can tell.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Rollerblading is the best thing there is.
Yes, definitely.
In my opinion.
Yes. Not biased at all. But
so it was really good chatting with you, meeting you, talking for the first time. Like I said, I look forward to following everything you do this year. I hope your foot gets better.
Cheers.
And so anyway, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I'm absolutely honored that. This is really good talk. Really happy to be here.
Yeah, awesome. And I'll be posting links to your YouTube channel and your social media. I'm sure most of people have seen your channel, but if you haven't, there'll be a link to your channel in the description below.
Appreciate it. Yo, check it out.
Awesome. Right. Thank you. Take care. I'll talk to you in the future.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching episode 13 of the Then and Now Blading podcast. I hope you were able to find out more about Brandon and his show and his history in our sport. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure and hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon to be notified of all new uploads. Leave any comments you may have in the comments area. And if you want to follow me on social media, I have links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in the description below, as well as a link to my Patreon page, where for as little as $3 a month, you can support this channel and have exclusive access to videos, photos, and audio from my collection that's not going to be available on this YouTube channel. You also get ad-free versions of these shows and versions of these shows without me talking in the beginning or end. So that's a big perk already. So visit the Patreon link in the description below for more information. Thanks so much for watching episode 13 of the Then and Now Blading podcast. I'll see you at episode 14 with Jeremy Baytall.